This is the QTV Nightly News, which is also on Q Radio 103.3 FM, and I am Loliam Kamara. Thank you for joining us. Here are the headlines. As part of the ongoing Connect Gambia Roads Infrastructure Tour, President Barrow on Wednesday, 19th August, laid foundation stones for a combined 36.1 kilometers of road projects across 6 locations in the West Coast region. The Gambia's High Commissioner to the UK, Dr. Fatou Bensouda, has been honored by the Nelson Mandela Foundation for her contributions to justice, accountability, human rights, and the rule of law. Maria Emily Jatta, the Gambia's first female aircraft refueler at the Banjul International Airport, has called for greater female representation in technology and mechanical fields. The Amnesty International Carnife Municipality Group held a day-long National Youth Dialogue on civic space, peaceful assembly, and the December 2026 elections. In international news, as the world marks World Humanitarian Day, United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres is calling for greater protection of humanitarian workers amid increasing threats and dangers they face. Those were the headlines. Coming up next, the news in detail. As part of the ongoing Connect Gambia Roads Infrastructure Tour, President Adama Barrow on Wednesday, 19th August 2026, laid foundation stones for a combined 36.1 kilometers of roads project across the 6 locations in the West Coast region. This was a continuation of the development tour, which had a brief pause while President Barrow attended the 66th anniversary of independence celebrations in Gabon, where he was a guest of honor. Usman Jada reports.
We waste about 52 years of the Gambian time and resources. Now is the time for Gambians to enjoy. And we are very, very focused. We are very determined. And we are sure of what we are doing. That's why whenever I lay this stone, the graders will follow. Very soon you will see the graders on the ground.
President Barrow's drive to transform the Gambia's road network remains on course.
President Barrow is intensifying his nationwide development tour across the West Coast region, laying foundation stones for several road projects. One of the vital projects is the Brikama-Jidda-Babanjai road, which is expected to improve movement and access for locals across this vital route.
From Brikama, the president proceeded to the Brikama Newtown Kitty Junction and Lamin Wajuara Brikama Buxbar Road, extending to the Jar Oil petrol station. For communities that rely heavily on unpaved roads, the projects are more than just infrastructure. During the rainy season, heavy downpours can quickly turn dirt roads into muddy paths, while poor drainage leaves some areas flooded and difficult to access. For pedestrians, school children, motorists and traders, this can make everyday movement a challenge. The president later moved to Lamin, CDC, Kubariko, Makumbaya, Galoya, Kubune, Kunkujang Jataya, Mandinaring corridor covering about 15 kilometers, where foundation stones were also laid for additional road projects. The government says the projects form part of its broader infrastructure program aimed at improving road connectivity, easing transportation and supporting economic activities across the West Coast region. Speaking to the media, President Barrow said the government is not slowing down its development agenda.
As I always said, no infrastructure, no development. Development is based on infrastructure. As we promised Gambians, we are going to connect the Gambia. And now we have started laying foundation stone for about 1,600 kilometers. It's unprecedented. It has never happened in the history of this country. No president have tried. The last time I tried 400. But I'm becoming hungrier and more aggressive, very innovative also. to make sure that in the next 5 years, Gambia will definitely change.
The president's convoy then moved to Sinju Alaji, where amid the continuing August rains, he laid the foundation stone at Hamadba Junction. The president also laid the foundation stone for the upgrading of Sukuta Market, a project expected to improve facilities for traders and strengthen commercial activities in the area. The final stop of the tour was Tanje, where President Barrow launched the construction of the Jabang-Yuna-Madiana-Tanje route, covering approximately 10.2 kilometers. But the president's arrival coincided with heavy August rainfall. The project site was quickly flooded, disrupting movement and highlighting the drainage challenges residents face during the rainy season. The situation offered a real-time reminder of why road construction in flood-prone areas must go hand-in-hand with proper drainage. Despite the heavy rain, the president and his delegation crossed the flooded area and proceeded with the launch of the road project, with the downpour providing the perfect illustration of why this and other road improvements are needed. From Brikama to Sinju Alaji and Tanje, the laying of these foundation stones are another step in the government's efforts to improve road connectivity and open up communities across the West Coast region. For residents who have endured muddy and difficult roads for years, the real test now is turning these foundation stones into roads they can use every day. Osman Jata, QTV News.
The Gambia's High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, Her Excellency Dr. Fatou Bensouda, has been honored by the Nelson Mandela Foundation in recognition of her distinguished contributions to the advancing the rule of law, justice, accountability, and human rights. Here is my report. The recognition follows Dr. Bensouda's delivery of the 19th Nelson Mandela Annual Lecture in August 2021, when she began part of a distinguished global platform established to stimulate dialogue on critical societal issues. The lecture, delivered virtually from The Hague, was themed The Rule of Law, International Criminal Justice and Sustainable Development. During Dr. Bensouda's visit to South Africa in November 2025, arrangements were made for the recognition to be formally presented to her. However, due to time constraints, it was accepted on her behalf by Her Excellency Madam Fatoumata Jahumpa Cissé, the Gambia's High Commissioner to South Africa. Madam Jahumpa Cissé subsequently presented the award to Dr. Bensouda at a formal ceremony in London.
She happens to be one of the few people who receive this throughout the world. And I think we are all proud of her, and this is a pride to Gambia, and especially women. And right now in South Africa, they're still having the Women's Month. And Your Excellency, I am here to deliver this on behalf of the Nelson Mandela Institute.
Thank you.
The recognition holds particular significance given the mission and legacy of the Nelson Mandela Foundation, established in 1999 following Nelson Mandela's presidency. The foundation seeks to build a just society by promoting Mandela's legacy, preserving and making accessible information about his life and times, and fostering dialogue on critical social issues. The foundation promotes open dialogue, advocacy, constitutionalism, and social justice with a focus on addressing poverty, inequality, identity, and the legacies of oppression. Since its establishment, the lecture platform has featured influential global voices, including former United States President Barack Obama, United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, and Archbishop Desmond Tutu, among others. Dr. Bensouda's recognition reflects the close alignment between her career and the core values of the Nelson Mandela legacy, including justice, accountability, human dignity, equality, and the rule of law. For the Gambia, the recognition highlights the contribution of one of its most internationally respected legal and diplomatic figures to global efforts to advance justice and human rights. Below is Her Excellency Dr. Bensouda's statement delivered upon receiving the award.
It's only now and through your very great efforts that you have been able to deliver this to me. So I'm really grateful. and I thank you very much. I also use the opportunity to thank the Nelson Mandela Foundation for this.
Dr. Bensouda's career in international justice and diplomacy continues to advance the Gambia's role in promoting justice, accountability, and the rule of law. For QTV News, Loliam Kamara. In an exclusive interview with QTV, Maria Emily Jata, the Gambia's first female aircraft refueler, has called for greater female representation in technology and mechanical fields. Her work at Banjul International Airport has attracted significant attention both within and beyond her workplace, as she continues to break barriers in a traditionally male-dominated sector. Fatoumata Jaju filed this report.
Where mechanical and technical work have been normalized as mostly male jobs, Maria's passion and curiosity changes the narrative. Although she is the Gambia's first female aircraft refueler and someone who has worked at Banjul International Airport for 8 years, there are signs that the barrier she broke may finally be coming down. During Maria's appearance on QTV's This Morning, she mentioned that 2 more women have recently been employed as aircraft refuelers at the Banjul International Airport. According to Maria, her journey, like many other women who venture similar paths, has been filled with challenges.
It is a male-dominated field, so obviously you will have people to tell you, this is not for you, you cannot do this is your limitation, and so discrimination is a part of it. People just see you and then judge you. You cannot do this. Some will even come to your face and say to you, but again, like I said, I've made peace with that, and giving up is not an option. So I've never, ever sat and then had to think twice about this profession.
She explains what else she would like to see in this sector.
And let them include us. That is all we want. You can see a lot of girls who are into these male-dominated fields, construction, mechanical, electrical. So all they ask or all they need is just encouragement. Yeah, one right sentence or one right phrase from a person can go a long way. Yeah, so my encouragement to girls and ladies who would want to venture into this field, I would say let them not give up on their dreams. That's the right path.
For the 32-year-old, this is certainly not the end as she works towards playing a bigger role in engineering.
I would want and would love to be an aircraft engineer. Yeah, so that is where my goal is, and I'm working towards it.
Data from the Gambia Bureau of Statistics Labor Force Survey shows that women account for just 5% of employment in the industrial sector, which includes mechanical trades. A report by German broadcaster DW also highlights that cultural expectations often steer women towards clerical, secretarial, and domestic roles, leaving technical and heavy mechanical fields largely male-dominated. Maria Emily Jata's journey is breaking barriers and challenging stereotypes while highlighting the need for greater opportunities, support, and encouragement for women pursuing careers in technical and mechanical fields. For QTV News, I am Fatoumata Jaju.
We will now go for a commercial break. When we return, we have some local and international news stories to stay tuned.
Important news for prospective pilgrims. Ajib Bank Limited, in collaboration with the Gambia International Airlines (GIA), has officially commenced the collection of deposit payments for the 2027 Hajj pilgrimage. Intending pilgrims planning to perform the holy journey with the nation's premier travel operator can now secure their spots early. The initial deposit required to register for the 2027 Hajj package is $400,000. Payments can be made at any Ajib Bank branch nationwide. After making your deposit, remember to present your bank payment slip to the Gambia International Airlines offices to update your records and finalize your registration. As seats are allocated on a first-come, first-served basis, early registration is strongly encouraged to guarantee your spot for this sacred journey. For further details on registration requirements and account information, visit your nearest Ajib Bank branch or contact the Gambia International Airlines High Secretariat.
In today's world, speed matters, but slow internet can hold you back. Now, the future of connectivity has arrived in the Gambia. QCell's Q-Fiber, ultra-fast, ultra-reliable internet designed for the way you live. Stream your favorite shows without buffering. Power your business with seamless video calls. Study, work, and play online like never before. From homes to businesses, QCell Fiber is connecting the Gambia to the future. QCell's Q-Fiber. Get connected today. Call 145 or 300-3779. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back, and this is QTV News. I am Loliam Kamara. Here are the rest of tonight's stories. The Amnesty International Carnival Municipality Group has held a day-long national youth dialogue on civic space, peaceful assembly, and the 2026 elections. The forum brought together youth leaders and human rights defenders to discuss civic participation and the role of young people in the upcoming elections. Mamadou Gajaga has more.
More than 100 young people, along with representatives of human rights organizations and government institutions, attended the event on Thursday, organized by the Amnesty International Canifing Municipality Group. The dialogue focused on civic participation, peaceful assembly, and meaningful youth engagement ahead of the 2026 presidential elections. Mohammed Haidara is the president of Amnesty International Canifing Municipality Group.
This forum as a national youth dialogue that concerns the issue of civic, which is very important. We are currently seeing the reality in this country, which has been severely threatened. And that being said, young people are completely at risk because according to GBOS statistics, young people made up over 60% of the population. So therefore, meaning the electorate who decide who have to be our next president is decided by young people.
With young people making up significant proportion of the population, organizers say their active participation in leadership and decision-making is crucial. The dialogue brought together youth leaders together with government authorities and other stakeholders, providing a platform to exchange views, address concerns, and foster greater understanding. Representatives from the Select Committee on Human Rights, Suwaibu Toure, the Edward Francis Small Center for Rights and Justice, Madi Jobate, and Tango chairperson Yadikon Jai Aribo also shared their perspectives on civic space, human rights, and the vital role of young people in strengthening democratic processes.
Without young people involved in politics, politics will be very dull. But how do you participate in politics is also very important. If it is not done with consciousness, you are not aware of what you are getting into. You'll just be wasting your time and wasting the time of your country.
Citizens change things. So to you, the young people, think about that. And I think this meeting here, that is the whole idea, as citizens to empower us to realize that change is in our hands.
You form the highest numbers in our population. You do. And did you register to vote? Are you ready for the elections? Have you registered? Do you have a voter's card?
As the countdown to the 2026 presidential elections continues, young people are calling for greater accountability, inclusion, and respect for civic freedoms. Platforms such as the National Youth Dialogue provide an opportunity for meaningful engagement between citizens and authorities as the country prepares for another important election. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
Coming up next is international news. As the world marks World Humanitarian Day, United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres is calling for greater protection of human rights workers or humanitarian workers amid growing dangers facing those delivering life-saving assistance to people in crisis. Yesterday, on the day of the commemoration, we included an excerpt from the statement. Here is the Secretary General's statement in full.
On World Humanitarian Day, we honor the dedicated workers who provide life-saving aid to millions in need. We also confront an appalling truth. Serving others has become more dangerous than ever. More than 1,000 humanitarians have been killed in the last 3 years. Most were local staff supporting their own communities. Countless others narrowly survived being shot at, shelled, bombed, kidnapped, or raped. Schools and hospitals are coming under fire, and new tools of war, including armed drones, are posing fresh risks. At the same time, disinformation is eroding trust. Humanitarian funding is being cut, and humanitarian access is being restricted. We see aid convoys blocked, aid workers threatened, arrested and detained, and people in desperate need left without support. Attacks on humanitarian workers are illegal, and the consequences are devastating for families struggling to survive, children waiting for food, patients seeking urgent care, and so many more. The world has made commitments. Now we must act to respect the rules of law, ensure safe access, hold perpetrators accountable, and provide sufficient resources. Humanitarian workers stand up for people in need. We must stand up for them. We must act for humanity now.
Also in international news, on August 17th, South Africa hosted the day-long 46th Ordinary Summit of the Southern African Development Committee, Southern Africa's equivalent of ECOWAS, in Durban, where regional leaders gathered, discussed and adopted a broad agenda targeting economic integration, peace building and regional migration governance. Ma'am Nabuka has the story.
After a pre-summit family photo featuring all the presidents, the playing of 3 anthems, that of South Africa, SADC and the African Union, led by the South African Army Choir and the South African Navy Band, the summit finally got underway. Here is Cyril Ramaphosa, South African president and new chairman of SADC, taking over from Zimbabwe's president, delivering his opening statement.
Together, we transformed Southern Africa from a region marked by conflict and oppression into a community founded on peace, on democracy, cooperation, and a common future. Today, our task is to give economic and social meaning to that political liberation.
The gathering centered on a regional transformation roadmap focused on infrastructure development, climate-smart agriculture, and leveraging critical minerals to drive industrialization across the 16-member bloc. In a move to boost economic mobility and regional integration, the Assembly discussed and approved the landmark SADC Tourism Univisa Agreement, allowing for seamless travel across member states to drive tourism and cross-border investment. Leaders also addressed pressing regional security and governance issues, reaffirming their commitment to peace efforts in the Democratic Republic of Congo and commending inclusive political dialogues in Madagascar and Mozambique. To address human health and agricultural resilience, the summit designated the Botswana Vaccine Institute as a regional bank for foot and mouth disease vaccines, while coordinating response measures against ongoing Ebola outbreaks in the region. The summit, which also witnessed roughly 300 anti-migrant demonstrators near its venue under heavy police surveillance, demanding regional heads of state collect their citizens and take responsibility for regional economic conditions, addressed the issue of migration. This comes following weeks of demonstrations by populist groups demanding that undocumented foreign nationals leave South Africa, which led to over 176,000 migrants fleeing South Africa primarily to Malawi, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe through voluntary departures, deportations, and state-backed repatriation programs. South Africa, in response, presented an update on current governance challenges, prompting the Assembly to call for a multidimensional regional strategy that addresses the underlying economic and social drivers of displacement. Here is Cyril Ramaphosa again.
Let us leave Durban with renewed determination to build a Southern Africa in which our borders connect rather than divide us, in which our resources are transformed into prosperity, and in which the benefits of regional integration are felt in the lives of the people of Southern Africa.
The Southern African Development Community (SADC) has 16 member states focused on economic growth, peace, and regional integration. Looking forward, SADC heads of state endorsed a new implementation roadmap aimed at strengthening regional value chains and accelerating domestic resource mobilization, with Zambia set to host the next ordinary summit. Mam Nabuka, reporting for QTV News.
Before we end, here's a recap of the headlines. As part of the ongoing Connect Gambia Roads Infrastructure Tour, President Barrow on Wednesday, 19th August, laid foundation stones for a combined 36.1 kilometers of road projects across the 6 locations in the West Coast region. The Gambia's High Commissioner to the UK, Dr. Fatou Bensouda, has been honored by the Nelson Mandela Foundation for her contributions to justice, accountability, human rights, and the rule of law. Maria Emily Jata, the Gambia's first female aircraft refueler at the Banjul International Airport, has called for greater female representation in technology and mechanical fields. The Amnesty International Carnival Municipality Group held a day-long national youth dialogue on civic space, peaceful assembly, and the December 2026 elections. In international news, as the world marks World Humanitarian Day, United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres is calling for greater protection of humanitarian workers amid increasing threats and dangers they face. That's all for this bulletin. Join us again tonight at 10:30 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching.